Okay. And now we'll pay homage to the Buddha. We'll recite the Namo Tassa 3 times. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Homage to him, the blessed one, the fully enlightened one. We pay homage to his holy feet. Buddham Dhammam Sangham Namasam. So for those who have joined us today, I just want to remind that we have been reading the transcripts of the Bhante Vimalaramsi's discourse. This is from Majjhima Nikāya, second Sutta, Sutta number 2. So in the previous Wednesday, we have read till here. This is actually a Sutta on all the taints, where I think it's talking about different kind of things that we have to let go, and how different things we have been taking things personally. We have read a part of the discourse. Now we'll continue reading. This is a student and Bhante Vimalaramsi. I think it is. Yeah. You catch it before you say, "Oh damn, that hurts," or you say, "That's." Bhante Vimalaramsi. Well, sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. There is the pain, and there is recognition of the pain. And then there is dislike of the pain, and they happen real fast. And sometimes you get caught for a little while with "I really hurt. Boy, that hurts, and I don't like it." And then you catch yourself with that, and you just kind of laugh with it. And once you start laughing, that changes your perspective. And then you can put love into that pain. And that balances everything. And there is a psychological thing that happens with that too. The brain is like two sections, and there is a membrane that goes right down the middle of it. Right in the middle of the brain, there's what's called the pineal gland. This produces all of the endorphins for your body. Endorphin is the painkiller, pain pill, that's 10 times stronger than morphine. Now, when there's anger, it stops the endorphins from coming because all of the blood vessels, all of the little blood vessels, all the little muscles around there, they tense up. They don't let those endorphins release into the body. So the pain actually intensifies, gets bigger. When you start sending love into that, everything starts relaxing, and the endorphins just start flooding your body, and before long, you forget what you did it. Well, people get so quick that they can stub their toe and immediately respond. You respond with loving kindness by laughing first and then. Bhante Vimalaramsi. Well, if you need to, I was a carpenter. I hit my fingers all the time, pinch myself, all kind of crazy things would happen, and it was like there is shock. Oh, that hurt. And then I sent some love into it and just go back to doing what I was doing. And then 2 or 3 hours later, I see this great big purple thing underneath my nail. And where did that come from? It doesn't even hurt anymore. That's not even tender. So you are practicing the observation of the Four Noble Truths. You see when there is suffering, you see the cause of suffering, you let go of the cause. That's the cessation of suffering. And the way to do that is to laugh and keep your mind on a wholesome object, loving kindness, into that pain. And it doesn't necessarily even have to happen with something as big as stabbing your toe. Any kind of physical pain. I mean, you wake up in the morning and you are stiff. Start sending loving kindness into that stiffness instead of your dislike. And before long, you don't feel it. Real easy to pop up. You don't know about this. You kids, student. And this works the same way with mental or emotional pain. Bhante Vimalaramsi? Yes, exactly the same. And the thing with Buddha that's so amazing is that this is simple. He came up with the simplest, most direct method for the cessation of suffering, having a happy mind. How do you have a happy mind? Well, smile and laugh. Change your perspective. Every time you see yourself getting serious, smile and laugh. I used to have a tape of on it must have been 5 people that got together and they had belly laughs and they put it on the tape for 15 minutes. That's all it was laughing. Well, you talk about changing your mood. All you had to do was listen to that, and before long, you were laughing right along with them. I lost the tape. Jan. Okay. So here Bante is talking about the physical pain and how our perspective being mindfulness and how mindfulness can help us change the perspective at looking at the pain, and we can replace the hate against that pain with loving kindness. We can actually send the loving kindness to that particular pain, just softening it and changing the relationship with it. I know there is a physical pain, but I can't keep on identifying with it. When I give it that attention, it will keep on growing. So Bante is actually saying us to practice the 6 hours. Don't give attention to it. Give loving kindness to it. Give your attention to loving kindness. Then the loving kindness grows and the pain fades away gradually. So here also, when uh, we talked about physical pain, and here the student is asking, is it the same for mental and emotional pain? Yes, it is, Bante replies, because the Dhamma that we are practicing is applied for all of it, for the whole of this samsara. For each and everything, we can apply this Noble Eightfold Path. So Buddha actually talked about two darts where the physical pain and the mental pain are there for an practitioner, for a person who doesn't know any of the teachings, and for a person who practices it, who understands it. They don't have the mental pain. Even though the physical pain is still there, the mental pain, mental suffering that adds on is no more there for the person who is well established in the path of the Dhamma. And Bante is asking us to have fun, keep smiling, and keep laughing. It's really great. Very simple act, hard to do, but I think once we learn to laugh, learn to smile, learn to let go, it becomes much more easier. Nanda madam, would you like to read?
Majjhima Nikāya 11. He attends wisely. This is suffering. He attends wisely. This is the origin of suffering. He attends wisely. This is the cessation of suffering. He attends wisely. This is the way leading to the cessation of suffering. When he attends wisely in this way, three fetters are abundant in him: personality will, doubt, and adherence to rules and observances. These are called the taints that should be abundant by seeing. Bhante Vimalaramsi. Now, what he's talking about is getting to the first stage of enlightenment. The first stage is the one where you let go of seeing everything in a personal way and you start seeing things in an impersonal way. Because of doing that, you don't have any more doubt as to whether this is the right thing to be doing or not. And you let go of the belief that rites and rituals will lead to nibbana. There's an awful lot of people that have that belief, and they're like the Jews. They are really stuck in tradition, and if it's not traditional, they don't want anything to do with it. But some of their tradition is just wrong view according to the Buddha's teaching. And I can say that because I found out that when I was 35, I was Jewish. I didn't know until then. I didn't know anything about it. Majjhima Nikāya tends to be abundant by restraining. Number 12. What taints bhikkhu should be abundant by restraining? Here, a bhikkhu reflecting wisely abides with the eyes faculty restrained. While taints, vexation, and fever might arise in one who abides with the eyes faculty unrestrained, there are no taints, vexation, or fever in one who abides with the eye faculty restrained. Bhante Vimalaramsi. When you're sitting in meditation, you close your eyes. When you close your eyes, you have restrained your eye faculty, haven't you? You are not seeing anything. When you close your eyes, that faculty is restrained at that time. You're not seeing colors. You're not getting involved in thinking about things that you see. And I kind of like when he was talking about this, the taints, vexation, or fervor. The fervor is the desire, it's burning. Now, one of the suttas that the Buddha gave in the Vinaya is called the fire sermon. And he said, monks, everything is burning. The eye is burning. Color and form is burning. Eye consciousness is burning. And he goes through eye contact and all of these kind of things. And he said, it's burning in what? It's burning with desire. It's burning with craving. It's burning with identification. And that's what causes fervor. It causes your mind to get hot. And it causes your mind to become confused very easily. Vexation. You don't know. And you get so involved in thinking about what you're seeing, you're no longer seeing. You're just caught in your thinking, and that causes all kinds of questions to arise in your mind. So it's that way with the eye faculty, the ear faculty, the nose faculty, the tongue faculty, the body faculty, and the mind faculty. Now, the mind faculty is by far the most difficult to restrain, but you are learning how to do it every time you see that your mind is thinking this or that and letting it go and relaxing. Right? And that relaxing, there is restraint in the thinking. And when you bring that dear, clear mind back to your object of meditation, what's your object of meditation? Smiling, having that smile here in your heart.
We will just go back and reflect, learn, and continue reading soon. So here we can see the sutta goes with Four Noble Truths and how the attention is rooted in seeing the Four Noble Truths. And also, when he understands the Four Noble Truths, the first three fetters, when they are abandoned, what happens is the personality view that there is something I existing that is eternal goes away. The doubt in the practice goes away, and the adherences to rules and observations, these first three fetters goes away. And these are called the taints that should be abandoned by seeing. So again, Bhante Vimalaramsi here says this is the first stage of enlightenment, the Sotapanna. And what happens here? He has given explanation regarding how to restrain the faculties. So here we can see the I, the form, the I consciousness, the I feeling, all of these things, the Buddha has given that all of these things are burning in a fire ceremony. Similarly, with all our six sense bases, the eye base, ear base, nose, tongue, body, tangibles, and the mind. All these things, what happens, why it is said burning is because these are burning with desire, burning with craving. And we can see every time our mind, when it's gets caught up or gets caught in a craving related to any of the senses, then we can see the craving coming up and we can see the suffering. The suffering is coming because of craving, and that is the Buddha called it's burning. And definitely because of identification, personalizing it, identifying it, making it me, mine, that's what causes the suffering. And with each of the sense bases, it's the same. The nose faculty, something pleasant we smell, and then we get involved with it. Oh, this smells very delicious. Then your tongue faculty comes into point picture and it starts wanting to taste it. And you somehow go and end up eating something junk. Then you start to suffer. Oh, I shouldn't have eaten that. So all of these things, if not restrained, we keep on suffering. So the mindfulness factor that we keep, the smile that we carry, helps us to recognize, oh, this is the craving, this is where the senses are going. So we have to bring the attention to a wholesome object. Learn that this path is going to lead to suffering and this is going to lead to happiness. And definitely because I think everybody here has been practicing. So it's very difficult to guard the mind faculty because we have not trained our mind from the beginning. We have now is the time that we are training it gradually. We can't restrain it uh, as a student, as a practitioner, but after a period, you might be able to do it. But for now, you can't control your thoughts. You can't say, I want only this kind of thoughts. Or you can't say, I don't want this kind of thoughts. So the mind is actually unpredictable. So guarding the mind, having mindfulness each and every moment, looking at the kind of thoughts that are coming up is really important. And the mindfulness, having the mindfulness, you have to have the right view, understanding that this is a wholesome thought, this is an unwholesome thought. Where you have to give the attention, that wise understanding should be there. And then definitely, if it's an unwholesome thing, you have to use the right effort, the 6 hours, keep smiling, and then coming back to the wholesome object, loving kindness. And then we can continue reading. Nanda madam, would you like to read? Continue reading.
Majjhima Nikāya, taints to be abundant by using. Number 13. What taints bhikkhus should be abundant by using? Here, a bhikkhu reflecting wisely uses the robe only for protection from cold, for protection from heat, for protection from contact with gadflies, mosquitoes, wind, the sun, and creeping things, and only for the purpose of concealing the private parts. Bhante Vimalaramsi. Now, this is mostly for monks, but really it's for modesty, and I wished it worked on creeping things, but laughter, and you can be sitting in meditation where there's some ants and they have a way of creeping in. Student, nobody told them about. Bhante Vimalaramsi. Nobody told them. But these guys, I think, would help with that. I'd like put one of these by one of the big fire ant hill and see what happens. Majjhima Nikāya 14. Reflecting wisely, he uses alms food neither for amusement nor for intoxication nor for the sake of physical beauty and attractiveness, but only for the endurance and continuance of this body, for ending discomfort and for assisting the holy life, considering, thus, I shall terminate old feelings without arousing new feelings, and I should be healthy and blameless and shall live in comfort. Bhante Vimalaramsi, once you get used to eating once a day, you really don't need to eat very often after that. Majjhima Nikāya 15. Reflecting wisely, he uses the resting place only for protection from cold, for protection from heat, for protection from contact with gadflies, mosquitoes, wind, the sun, and creeping things, and only for the purpose of warding off the perils of climate and for enjoying retreat. Bhante Vimalaramsi. So it's basically the same thing for the robes as it is for your shelter. And there's one ascetic practice that we can do, and that's never sitting under a tree or any place that has a roof. And what we wind up doing is having our robes and build a little thing, kind of like a tent, and you stay under that for protection from getting out of the. I did all of the Dhutanga practices, all of the ascetic practices I have practiced at one point, and that's one of them. And it is somewhat difficult. Not being in the shade of trees is particularly difficult. Student, you have to avoid getting under trees? Bhante Vimalaramsi, being out in the open. Student, imagine living in a country like this is, where it gets really cold. Bhante Vimalaramsi, yeah, that's difficult. But monks are allowed to light fires, so you can have some heat that way. Student, and rain? Bhante Vimalaramsi, have a tendency to get wet, and I have to say, I didn't do it very long because it was a very difficult practice. Student, what would be benefited by a practice like that? Bhante Vimalaramsi, being content with little, just watching how your mind starts craving for being in a shady spot. I mean, I avoided going into buildings. I avoided being underneath trees. I just stayed out in the open. Student, did you get sunburn? Bhante Vimalaramsi, well, I used a robe for that, so I didn't get sunburned. But it was a very difficult practice. I think I only did it for about a month. I saw my desire coming up, wanting to go underneath that tree, but no giving into that desire. Student, could you laugh at that? Bhante Vimalaramsi, oh yeah, I was not unhappy doing it, but I saw how difficult it was, and I didn't really see that as beneficial or for me at the time. So you see, developing your sense of humor into every situation is the thing that helps keep your balance of mind. And you'll start to notice as you start laughing with things, heavy emotional things don't pull you down very far. They still are going to happen, but you are going to see them more easily, more quickly. Let them go. Ah, this is nothing. This is crazy mind taking off with this once again. Okay? Majjhima Nikāya 16. Reflecting wisely, he uses the medicinal request only for protection from arising afflicting feelings, and for the benefit of good health. 17. While taints, vexation, and fervor might arise in one who does not use the requisites, thus there are no taints, vexation, or fervor in one who uses them thus.
Okay, I will go back quickly and learn how we can use it in everyday life. So here, these are from Majjhima Nikāya. All of these phrases that are in the blue are the exact words from the Sutta number 2. I think that's the para number 13. Similarly, here this is the para number 14 and 15. So here, taints or the things that we are attached to that needs to be abandoned by using. That means we still use them, learn from them, and then let them go, not be attached to them. So, what are those things? Here it is given for monks, like the clothes, the robes that they are using. But in our context as well, you can see every time there is a desire for a lay person to purchase a new thing, is definitely you are free to do so. But already, if we have enough, then getting that particular thing and putting again in the wardrobe or somewhere doesn't make any sense, because you should be happy and contented. We have enough that can be last use, we can use it for so long. That happiness or that we get from that particular purchase of a cloth or something from our, based on our senses, that because of that craving, we feel that that purchase is going to give us happiness, but ultimately we are not going. After a few, we come back, we get we, when we come back after we purchase it, we just keep it aside. Maybe 1 day, 2 day, 3 day we'll be happy, but later on, what happens? Your mind starts craving for one more thing. So this craving, what we are talking about, even though the things that we are using needs to be abandoned, that means we should not be attached to these things. I think the way the conversation here between Bante and the student is been going was been very interesting. So the monks use their robes to protect themselves from mosquitoes, glad flies, from direct sunlight, from wind, and the alms food that they use, and the food that we take, or the food that alms food that the Bantes take, is for the sake of the sustenance of the physical body and to support the practice. We all know that Buddha has practiced the ascetic practices where he used to take only one grain of a rice sometimes, and sometimes he used to eat his own feces, and it no way helped in his own practice. So, the middle path is what the Buddha suggested all of us to practice. S- So, the food is to be consumed to terminate the old feelings of hunger so that wholesome new feeling of happiness that can be practiced. To let go of discomfort, we have to take that food, and so that we have some energy to keep our practice going. And regarding the ropes, I think Bhante Vimalaramsi has here said that he practiced this thing where eh, they do not sit even under a tree. No, that means they don't go anywhere. There is something above their head, like a roof kind of thing. So they use only their own ropes, make a tent kind of thing. And he practiced it for 1 month. And here we can see the student is asking, what if it's cold? What if it's rainy? And what if he Bante gets the sunburn? And Bante said, and the student is also asking, was it helpful in his own practice? Yes, he said. Bante said, yes, a little bit, to train the mind to be contented with whatever it is having. It's really important because the mind starts to find faults or starts to look up for reasons to not to do things. Rather, even though it has a lot of things that are supportive, it starts to procrastinate. So being mindful, and instead of looking for the reason not to practice, we can be happy with whatever we have. Yeah, I think even here Bante is asking us to laugh and learn, keep on learning about the things that we see every day, experience every day through mindfulness. I think it's really important. The mindfulness factor, along with the right view, right effort, and right collectedness, helps us to keep our practice going. Nanda madam, would you like to add something regarding what we just read?
That's very interesting to read. Um, Bhante Vimalaramsi explanations. I do know when I started practicing Siksa, he was emphasizing smiling and laughing. it most certainly did help me, and still it's helping me enormously. But I didn't know the why it was helping me. So he's explaining it here. So that was very interesting. And also, radiating metta to yourself when there is pain. I thought that was very, very interesting. And okay, his mindfulness is very, very strong. My mindfulness is not that strong, but I am noticing when I do radiate metta to the pain, that the physical pain that I have in my body in my old age, it most certainly does weaken and reduces the pain, and eventually it goes away. So it is very, very interesting to read this with all his explanations. Thank you.
Thank you, Nanda Madam, for sharing. I think we can continue reading for one more page. Chaya Madam, would you like to read?
Yes, I can read. Can you all hear me properly?
Yes.
Taints to be abandoned by enduring. Right? I have to start from here, correct?
Yes.
All right. What taints bhikkhus should be abandoned by enduring? Here, a bhikkhu, reflecting wisely, bears cold and heat, hunger and thirst, and contact with gadflies, mosquitoes, wind, the sun, and creeping things. He endures ill-spoken, unwelcome words and arising boldly feelings that are painful, racking, sharp, piercing, disagreeable, distressing, and menacing to life, while taints, vexation, and fever might arise in one who does not endure such things. There are no taints, vexation, or fever in one who endures them. Bhante Vimalaramsi. Well, I mean, go up to Alaska right now. You can have optimal health, still walk outside. It's going to be cold. One of the hell realms in the Jataka tale. There's the story about past lives of the Buddha, and he remembered he was king and he had to make a lot of decisions over other people's lives, and some of them he did it in a just way, and some of them he did it in a kind of an unwholesome way or unrighteous way. And because of that unrighteousness, he was born in a freezing hell. And I thought, you know, I better be good because I hate the cold so much. That's that when I'm going to be reborn, if I'm not good, laughter. So I don't cold as much as we can. But you can bear all of these things, the mosquitoes, the creeping things, the mice and rats and snakes and things like that. I can call them ditty rats, but it's just more or less a joke when they come and steal my toothbrush. I never, I've never known a rat to come and steal a toothbrush. We have a spider in the kuti. Learn to endure. Laugh. It's only a spider. Student, keep watching it. We'll see what happens. Bhante Vimalaramsi. Watch your mind while you're watching it. But this is why catching them does not bother me at all. I had monk friends that had a kuti right beside mine, within calling distance. and in the middle of the night, I hear, Bhante, come here for a minute, would you? There's a snake in my kuti. And I said, well, thanks for waking me up in the middle of the night to take care of this, you know. Well, just go back to sleep. You'll be fine. Now I can't go back to sleep. The snake is really bothering me. Okay, so I go over there and I had a little broom. And what I did was just kind of broomed him right on out. He could have done that himself. Why did he give? Why did he have to call me to do that? I'm not sure. But taking care of those kind of things, okay, just learn to endure, no problem. But you also realize that there's some aversion in that, maybe a little, student. Bhante Vimalaramsi, yeah. So,
I think, thank you.
pain, sure.
Do you want to share something regarding that, what we just read?
Uh, it's all about how we take things and how we are able to cultivate our mindfulness, being present in any situation where because we never know what is going to come up. I mean, I'm talking about practical application of this context. We never know how life shows up at what point of time. So if we are able to cultivate, uh, stay with our object of loving kindness and smiling all the time, then the mind gets clear of the fog and we are able to see things practically. And then it becomes very easy to handle any situation, whether it's a snake in front of us, which I have encountered personally, staying in Lonavala, and also things like um, even when you're sleeping, some wild animals are just um, sleeping in the forest. Some wild animals would just, you will hear noises of some cats or something around and be present and laugh at it that it's fine. So I can very well relate to this text, and thank you for bringing this up. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chaya, for sharing your own experiences and the practical application. Really, I think everybody had experienced something or something else that is painful. And here we have, when the sutta particularly talks about the taints that should be abandoned by enduring. That means we have to be patient, bear it, and then we have to abandon them. That means that patience, endurance, that which is actually stopping us from being into loving kindness, that we have to abandon them. Here, I think there are a few given like hunger, thirst, even being hungry. For me personally, I can't bear much of my hunger. So, because of hunger, I might speak some ill words, maybe some harsh words. So, bearing it or enduring them, being patient or seeing how it is affecting the state of my mind. And I know that hunger is also impermanent. So, we have to learn from that thing that's been really simple Dhamma discussion between Bhante and the student. Most of us can relate to it. Okay, I'll stop the recording here. I'll stop the screen sharing. So there is one Bhante staying nearby our home. He's here. I think the time is almost up, so we'll be sharing the merits. We can all yes, Bhante.
Yeah, I just wanted to be a part of the sharing of meditation. You can start.
Yes, Bhante, maybe you can lead and then we.
Okay. May suffering ones be suffering free, and the prayer struck fearless be. May the grieving shed all grief, and may all beings find relief. May all beings share this merit that we have thus acquired for the acquisition of all kinds of happiness. May beings inhabiting space and earth, devas and nagas of mighty power, share this merit of ours. May they long protect the Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu.
Thank everybody for coming, and thank you for sharing, Sindhu and Nanda, for sharing. So hopefully we will see you again in the next week. Okay. So
Yes,
take care.
Thank you, Bhante.
Okay, bye.